Welcome to Black Horror Humor, everyone. It is one of your hosts, Mr. D713 or Drake. I'm glad to have two of my favorite people with us tonight. You know who they are, but we want to get to know them a little bit more. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Well, everybody know my scary ass.
Man.
As you can see, I kept the lights on. That's a smart thing to do. Another
Absolutely.
thing is we never, and I'm gonna say this again, and I'm looking to the camera. Don't ever go back and take the mask off. You
Mm,
don't need to know.
mm.
What you need to know
One
for? You don't need to know.
one
Mm.
thing, the
This
number
ain't
one
Scooby Doo.
rule, the number one rule in a scary movie, don't be nosy.
Absolutely.
I would agree
That
to that.
not being nosy and minding your own business saves
Yeah.
lives. Absolutely.
Hey, same thing I do in real life. I stay in
Unless
my
uh,
Bible and I stay in my business. Simple
unless
as
you want
that.
to be a sacrifice, you know what I mean? Unless you want to sacrifice your life for America, go ahead and do it. But this person right here, I got shit to do.
Mm.
Listen, I can't be a sacrifice because I absolutely have too many things to do tomorrow.
Number one thing is I got to go to work.
Man, tell me about it, boy. Same, yeah, same, yeah,
No, I
same.
got too much life left to live to be a sacrifice. So
Uh,
y'all gonna have to get it together.
exactly. And the film we watching right now, that we're going to watch tonight, has everything to do with what we just said. If
Mm,
you mind your goddamn business, you won't be in a situation that you can't get yourself out of.
okay, okay. So tonight, this is recommended by the one and only BTG, Baylor the Great. Is Hellraiser Judgment.
Mm,
Movie dropped in 2018. Okay,
mhm.
1 hour and 21 minute runtime.
That's great time right there.
That's
121,
solid. It's
like that,
solid.
like that. Three detectives attempt to solve a diabolical murder that sweeps them into the depths of hell in this next edition of the classic Hellraiser series.
Drake, there was a key word in there.
Which one? Diabolical.
There you go.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right, all right.
I was
Highlight.
gonna say it too. I was gonna say it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Anything, if you could describe something as diabolical, you know what? Now it's none of your business. Now you just walk away.
That's just their job. They detectives. I can understand
No,
with being the detectives. That's your
listen,
job.
reassignment. Reassignment.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody gonna have to
And
do
it's
it.
not gonna be me.
Drake,
Somebody got to do it.
Drake.
So we the
As
three
for me in
detectives.
this house.
We the
Do
three detectives though.
do
No,
you know
absolutely.
do you know a successful detective?
I mean, other than
Kamala,
Dick
I don't know.
Tracy. Dick Tracy was successful.
Batman.
Man, the
Batman was absolutely not a detective. He was a vigilante.
Batman was a
He was a detective.
He was not a detective.
Batman was not a detective. He was a privileged white.
Fluent.
That was
Hey,
actually his greatest
one of
superpower is
my
being
funny,
white
one of
privilege.
the funniest memes was if Batman was black, he was actually got shot up a long ass time ago because he
Listen,
wear that half mask. Oh, that's a nigga. Lick
Mhm.
his ass up.
Yeah.
listen. I'm telling you, like him having white privilege is probably his greatest superpower.
Do the same
But
thing affect with Tony Stark then?
Tony
Mm,
Stark didn't just use his white privilege. He had resources and he inherited a business from his father.
I think
But
that
he
was
was
white
also
privilege.
smart
Tony,
Batman
in
was
Tony,
doing
smart.
stuff.
Tony
Okay,
Stark.
we ain't going down this route right here. We stayed on the horror movie stuff. We were about to go into the comic book world.
We
We was
about to
about to
go
go
there.
there. We was
Yeah,
like,
I
we was
mean,
about to
and
go
We about
there.
to go
we
there.
were locked and loaded. We were
Yeah,
ready to
I
go.
saw it coming. I'm like,
Yeah.
not tonight, y'all. Not tonight. Give me
But
another 30 minutes
I'll
on that.
say, look, if we're the three detectives, I feel like us having our antennas up at all times. Once we start looking at some stuff and be like, "Is that a Horcrux?
It can
Wait,
it,
is this?"
it can go it can only go two ways. Either we know the game, so it's gonna be over quick, or ain't shit getting solved.
Yeah,
Cause I'm not
I got
gonna
because if I got too many questions, I'm walking away. I got. I listen. I can't. I got a family to get home to.
as soon as I show up to the first crime scene and I see this nigga hanging here and the other half of his he's hanging over here, oh yeah, you got it. Back to this desk. Back to
Okay,
this
okay,
desk.
okay.
You know?
We're gonna shout out the director Gary J. Ooh, Tunnicliffe, starring Heather Longencamp, Randy Wayne, Alexandra Harris, Paul T. Taylor, and Damon Garney. Oh, Damon Carney. Damon, if
Carney.
you die first, it's a wrap.
Hey, do you think how I think like the names further down the line, those are the ones that's gonna die?
Yep, and
Yeah,
we
I'm
know
surprised.
Damon Black. We know
Listen,
Damon Black too.
Yeah.
As long
Well,
as he doesn't die first.
I mean, we do have a Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon. That's his last name though. That's different. That's different.
That's he got two first names.
yeah, he does.
He got two
I
first
don't.
names.
I don't know how I feel about people who with two first names. I'm just
I
like,
feel like if you got two first names, I can call you by either name.
Well,
Eh,
I'm
like
Brandon
Craig
Drake.
David. I'm not really sure what to call you other than Craig David. I feel like your whole name is just. I'm just gonna call you by your whole name.
But
I feel like if I say Craig, you should say huh, and if I say David, you should say huh.
yeah, but Brandon Drake is a
Yeah,
double
you
first and
definitely
last
have
name.
two first names. Yeah,
Well, it could be two last names too. I know a lot of Brandons
I don't know
last
any
names.
You
Brandons.
know Brandon's last names.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know last name Brandons.
Get away from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that came from. Somebody made that name up, starting a new identity, and started a whole new bloodline.
Yo,
Brand new, Brandon.
yo, whoever you know with the last name Brandon, I need them on my show. We need to discuss this.
Okay.
Do you know your lineage? Let's talk about it. Where
Yeah.
did you come from? It's like, well, my grandfather had to get a new identity after he was duped out of some money.
Now let me mention this to the people. This particular Hellraiser, uh, he definitely has some type of surgery. You know,
Mm,
kind of like the Chucky doll.
mm,
Okay.
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Cause this is a
Uh,
new one. This is 3 years old. This is probably the newest one. I'm assuming.
This is not the original. So the original Pinhead, who for some reason I got mixed up with Wishmaster for some, but
No,
I think
that's common. That's common.
I saw
Don't
them
be
both at the same time, and
don't be
I got
ashamed for
them
that.
both. I got them
no.
both mixed up. But the original one came out in like the 80s. Was it mid
I think
80s?
I want to say 87 or 88.
Okay. Um, anybody else want to fact check me on that? Feel free. But the original one, it was such a simple design for the character, but his personality just took it over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm,
haven't seen the new one, so this is going to be an interesting watch for me because I'm interested in seeing if that character still, if that personality still comes across, even with like the new technology and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fact check. He did come out in 87.
87. Okay.
And I was today years old when I found out this was a British horror movie.
mm. You know that.
I didn't know
Okay.
it either.
Every day's a school
Come
day,
with it
man.
though. When it comes to the horror, they come with it.
I don't know because 28 Days Later took place in Britain.
Okay, they're not perfect.
Uh, but hey,
I never
but
said they
we're
was
about
perfect.
to get into see what they talking about on this one right here. So this is
Wait. I don't know if this one is a British one.
Oh,
I said
The original, yes.
1987.
Yes.
sometimes Americanized when they become Americanized, it can fall off sometimes. So
Yeah, that's a
about to
fact.
see. We about to see.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this goes. Yeah, there may be some parts where I may turn on the light. I'm not gonna.
And just to let the audience know that I recommended this, and I probably went back to this movie at least maybe two or three times. I can promise you I didn't finish it, but I remember the first scene, like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
All right,
Okay,
So
let's get cracking.
I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and invoke the three pause rule. So each person gets three pauses
I
in the
like
movie.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm with
All
it.
right. Cool.
Oh, can y'all hear?
You when you see that, when you see the dimension, it
Yeah.
okay.
They made some really good movies too.
Uh-huh.
Everything shut up. Hmm.
You know,
A minus. Man, baby, A. A. I'm gonna give it an A. That's all I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it an A because once again, I hate blood. I hate blood. Let me hold on. Matter of fact, let me get it the fuck off of what else is trying to show me. See, and that's the other thing. It got me to the point I don't want to watch no scary movies tonight. I'm good. I had my feel. That's why I give it an A. That's why I give it an A. Like I feel like watching cartoons like y'all want to watch cartoons. This is the first time I feel like, I want to watch some goofy shit now. Um, I don't like blood. I don't like flesh. I don't like vomiting. I don't like none of that. But they use it well in this film. Um, it didn't go to the theater, so for a straight to DVD or straight to streaming film, hey, y'all did an okay job. I think it stood up to the Hellraiser legacy. Um, it's not as gore, like it's not just unnecessary gory. Except for that vomit stuff, that was unnecessary. But I understand the point they were trying to go for. It had a lot of biblical terms in it, and had got a lot of thought processes with it, even with the preceptor. And I'm like, oh, they talking about the house of perfection here. And they really stuck to, hey, my job is to do this. I don't care what else it is. My job is to do this. And they really put their best foot forward on that. Had a good little twist to it. That had two different twists to it, I must say. Or maybe three. But I say A, and I would recommend it. I really would. That's me.
I give this a strong C,
Mm.
Mm,
like C minus,
go ahead.
like a C minus. Like this definitely wasn't one of the stronger of the Hellraiser series.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was absolutely gore. It was more gore than horror. Um, and I'm fine with like the saws and all that kind of stuff and in the gory sections. But it was a lot of gore. It was just a lot of gore. The brother, there was a lot of showing your hand and pulling back as if they weren't leaving like breadcrumbs. They were leaving like whole loaves of bread to tell you what they were going to do, and then they did it, and so it wasn't satisfying when it happened. Like it wasn't a shock that the brother was with the wife, uh or that he was the one out there doing it, because they just kept repeating how there's a connection between where he is and what's going on and blah 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 blah. So I don't want to drop the grade any lower, but I feel like I'm going to, just because this is not one of the stronger ones of the series. It did keep in line and trying to keep up with it. I think they went so hard on the gore to kind of level up in what they had been doing in the previous movies. Um, I would not recommend this one if you've never seen Hellraiser before. I would absolutely recommend the first one before I would recommend this one. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm gonna stop talking before I drop the grade again, because the more I think about it, I'm just like, just because now I want to give it a D plus, and I know it's not a D plus. I just keep it at a C minus. I'm gonna keep it at a C minus. All right, Baylor. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
The fact that this was an Americanized film, uh, the budget on this was 350,000.
Is that what you were looking at?
Yeah, that's not a lot when
At
it comes.
Yeah.
all. That's all I was thinking. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a lot. So
Okay.
you can consider this a low budget film.
Yeah.
You could tell it was low budget because of the actor that they actually got to play Pinhead. I thought he was okay. I thought he did a solid job.
Yeah. I can agree.
I
Um,
sure agree.
the original cast members was on deck. They didn't come into the second half of the movie, but they was there. Basically, they were going after sinners. Um, the gore was there. The graphic, vivid scenes were there. It was a lot of lookaways because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm definitely not eating anything while I'm watching this.
no soup.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Uh,
I definitely jumped. It was a hard jump, but it was only
ooh.
one jump. There was only one, and what they did was they took the original serial killer idea and they couldn't connect it with the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I understand why I didn't finish it. So I did watch more than 5 minutes of it because as the movie was going, so I have to apologize to the viewers. I probably seen half of the movie and I didn't finish it.
Ah, yeah.
Because I started as the movie was going on, I started to remember certain things, and definitely with the dog coming out of her stomach, they got us with the shock value. You know what I mean? At the same time, I expect this type of shock value from this particular franchise. This is what they do. They
Right.
go above and beyond. Um, I don't know. You know, this was this was something. This was something. You know what I mean? Like
This is just something.
this was a good but bad. All right, I'm going to give it a solid B. And
Okay.
the reason why I give it a solid B is that I'm disappointed in the storyline. Very disappointed in that.
Yeah.
But this is a horror film. This is something that keeps the kids up at night. You know what I mean? But it has to make sense. It has to make sense. But I will say this, and this doesn't affect the grade. This is not going to help the movie at all. But Pinhead, the character in general, to me is the most underrated Hall of Fame boogeyman of all time. So I'll give this particular film a B. It should have it should have stayed back. It This was 350,000, and you know what? They only grossed over 100,000,
Mm,
Really?
so they almost broke even.
okay. Even with it being a low budget film, the short film that they did in the intro, I think was more of a solid storyline than the entire hour and
Hmm.
10 minutes that was left in the movie.
Right.
Um even with it being a low budget film, what I can appreciate about low budget films is their um they just don't have the money for a solid storyline. Like it's the same thing as listening to a podcast. Even though your audio quality sucks, if your content is good, I'll stick around to listen to it. In this case, it was just gory for the sake of being gory to keep the franchise going, to add fuel to the fire. Like I wish that there was still a connection to the main source material so that when Pinhead did rebel to do his own thing, it would actually there would be a real consequence in him being now mortal.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Um the fact that this one detective is just like out here wanted to be the preceptor, and it's just like at the honestly, I just didn't care.
Mhm.
I didn't care. By the time he came out and was like, I'm the preceptor and I'm doing it for these reasons, I just didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I really didn't care. I killed so and so, so and so, so and so. Like it would have been a better movie if they went with um Drake's thing of like, oh snap, he's got a split personality. Honestly, I just knocked down like a
Yeah, I
lot of
was
stuff.
out. I was almost out of here. I was almost out of here because because he was definitely about to he was definitely
That's
about
why I
to hook
dropped
you up to
it.
that. He was definitely about to hook you up to that typewriter. I was,
Oh my gosh. No, I didn't get hit with the sleep sand because you knock on the door, you get hit with the sleep sand. That's what it is.
I'm going to say, but I can't give them no excuse. 350,000 dollars. You could still have a great storyline and a bad movie. This was a good movie with a bad storyline.
Was it a good movie though?
It was a good horror movie. Did we not jump?
I think it had horror elements.
Yeah.
It
It
was
had
a
good
horror
horror
movie.
elements. It had
Leah,
good
you
horror elements, but it was just
man, I don't know what type of horror movie you expecting, darling. Like this is
it's
what we
just
do. This is the brand of horror you step into. This is
it
Hellraiser. What
just wasn't it
I
just
don't know what
wasn't
type I I don't know what Hellraiser film that was just so intriguing that it's like, man, none of the Hellraiser movies won an Oscar or any type of award, you know?
no, I
This
didn't
is
say
a
that it won
horror,
awards.
but as a horror, this is the type of horror this is too. This is like spot on in my opinion. This
Mm.
is like, okay, you have gore, you gonna have a lot of suspense to it. Like the storyline goes to so far, but it's like, it has a agenda behind it, but like I say, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, but compared to a lot, man, I cannot expect everyone to be the brightest motherfuckers in horror movies, and like he
No,
came out.
it's not even that it's okay, so
Cause
let's
I'm
start
looking
here.
from the torture or whatever the guy's name. He was like, man, we got to get this. Like his whole plight was like, I know this motherfucker up to something. I was thinking from his point of view. And Hellraiser was like, Pinhead was like, that nigga be back. Watch me.
Yeah.
That nigga be back. Honestly, I thought he just go come back in the beginning. When he kicked down the door with his brother and all that, I thought that was he'll be back situation. Not when, oh, that motherfucker will be back, 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 back. Okay, I got it. I got it. I'm with it. I'm with it. So once again, as far as horror, I turn my head quite a bit in this motherfucker. Because one, I don't like blood. And then or the vomiting. So I'm like, okay, y'all made me very uncomfortable. Like once again, I didn't, and I think that's the purpose of horror movies. You make me somewhat. I'm watching it. I don't want to watch it, but I want to watch it. It brought me into it. So that's why I don't know what else we should expect from a Hellraiser film.
So it's not I don't have an issue with the characters themselves.
Mhm.
It's the directing more so than anything else. It's the editing of the movie more than anything else. The Even if they took out the whole suspense thriller and wanted to go straight gore, there was no need to have like this full flashback of just like, how did you know it was me? The entire audience knows it was you. And
Mhm.
I just think that I at that point, because they kept calling back to it multiple times, I just didn't care.
That's the writing.
I honestly I just didn't care because we should have did this 30 minutes ago. Why are we doing the same song and dance if we just did this 30 minutes ago? It would have been an even better movie if the girl was really there for nefarious reasons. If she was the one that was causing that was doing the murders, I think it would have been an even better storyline. I just think that it could have gone much better in different ways. And yeah, it did have horror elements. It was absolutely very gory. But as far as it being like a really good horror film, I can't put it in my top.
When
It
did y'all
can't.
realize it was him?
When what did he do? What did he do? He did something. It
Baylor,
was
when
at the
did you
point.
realize it was him?
It was his brother had asked him something.
I had suspicion when he was let go.
Is it when he was
When
let go at the
he
beginning? Okay.
Mm.
when he went to the house and they were going back and forth on scriptures, and and when he referenced something and it was also a Charles Dickens line, I was like, wait a minute. Uh-uh.
That part when his brother found the scripture highlighted,
Oh,
and
that was after, yeah.
yeah, and the fact that old boy choked on his words. I was like, something is up.
It wasn't like, oh, it's the words of the innocent. And I was like,
That's
nah,
what I thought it was.
you wouldn't choke on words of the innocent.
Well, if you in hell, you probably would.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think you would, but I don't want to test that theory. But I
Bingo.
also, but it's like, but when he went into the house and he didn't suffer the same fate as everyone else, and everybody's like freaking out, like, what is this cat doing here?
Uh-huh.
Because you really can't go toe to toe with somebody unless you have similar strengths. And he didn't seem like he was on the opposite side oh so wholly, because he was asking about all the murders and stuff that he's done. So, oh, you were fighting for your country, you were doing this and doing that, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
He had an answer for it.
sums up.
He had an answer for it. The fact that he was told to be released and do not question why he should be released. I mean, I had it was something. It
Yeah,
was, and the fact that Pinhead wasn't stressed over it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, you know what? He gonna be back.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga might be back with some shit.
I was like, yeah, it's him.
And that's what
It's
I thought he may do something later on when she showed, but I didn't know it was the plot the whole time. But hey, I still hold with the solid for this one. If you're watching Hellraiser, and once again, I wouldn't say for a newbie, a newbie, I wouldn't suggest Hellraiser. Period. You got to move up to Hellraiser. But all in all, being said, if you just moderate, and if you're used to the Hellraiser film, I give this a. Especially for the most, I think this is the most recent entry. Usually, when you get in like in your eighth, I would expect way worse than this. This is compared to a lot of other things I've seen that has a much higher budget. This is better than a lot of other ones.
I should shoot it some bail for having such a low budget, but since the fact that this film or this basically this franchise was not created out here, and like we said, once it touches
Oh,
American soil, it gets
and
watered down.
and they even
yep.
paid homage going back home. If you like, even at the very end, it showed even an ending. Like, because even when it came to, well, let's say with the first ending, with the post, the pre credits, that what is the what you how can you punish somebody that been living in hell, that's been in trauma and pain and torture? What how you most of the comments, like not even common sense, but put them back on earth. Like they all like, oh, that was kind of clever right there. I wouldn't say bring them to heaven, but I'm like put them somewhere where you don't have that power and ability to torture other people. But as you can see when he goes to the post credits, that he's got back into that. He already started doing it again. He doesn't have the power, but I'm kind of intrigued. How did he get them just to love themselves inside of that house like that? But you can tell his human face was already started to be cut up and scarred again. So I'm intrigued. Like it made me intrigued. I wonder what. Like I don't even like Hellraiser films. These are like the ones I don't like. But it got me to the point like I might need to watch another one of them. So it caught my attention.
Well, the reason why I'm not in a hurry to rush to these type of films is because it is so graphic.
Correct.
if I wanted to scare the shit out of a kid, I'll sit him down in front of this because it's a lot of weird. It had me thinking earlier in the film that people in general that make these films, from the cast to the people that direct it, etc., you have to the fact that they haven't won the awards is crazy because this shit is it's sick to a point. Like it's really sick to a point.
Agreed.
Like you know what I mean. The fact that he said that these are the tears of kids and like who thinks of this shit?
Yeah, you feel
Like
it.
I can't like when certain movies are made, you could sit up there and say like, "Yo, you must have been high when you thought of this." No, this is not marijuana.
Right, right. You on salvia, you heroin, something.
This is a bad LSD trip right here. Like this is some other shit right here. Um, but his name or the franchise name carry a lot of weight though. They know like when it comes to Hellraiser, they expect to see some crazy shit,
Yeah.
No,
some
on some
gra-
crazy shit.
some crazy graphic shit. You know what I mean? It's just that it's crazy that we actually gave this two different grades, and the first grade is technically can't be used to help this film out because you got to finish it strong. And like I said, the reason why I gave it a D is because I think the graphic shit alone, the gory shit alone, is to me is what a horror movie is. At the same time, you couldn't clean it up, like you couldn't give us a good storyline with this. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, man, nah. It's like having a sports team and it has a phenomenal arena. The jerseys is dope, but the players is trash.
Mm.
You got
He,
everything else.
Kind of
what
how like the Nets used to be.
what I what I what I really would have wanted would be some more suspicion being tossed around, less showing of the hand, more actual horror. Like I appreciate the that was me. I
Okay, I'm
appreciate
like, man, I know it
the
ain't my shit. Like,
I appreciate the one jump scare that I did get. That was cool, but you shouldn't be a one trick pony, especially when it comes to Hellraiser. There's so many spots, especially when they're going through the warehouse and when he's stuck in the house and when um when they're trying to do the whole who done it thing. There's so many places for these jump scares, so many places for it to be an actual horror film where I'm on the edge of my seat. When I watch Freddy Krueger and or watching any even in the original Hellraisers, I'm on the edge of my seat trying to figure out, okay, what's happening, who's doing this, and but knowing I don't need to get too close because if I get too close, then I'm gonna jump out of my skin.
Now,
But this other one, like I jumped on the inside, but I jumped so hard, like my arms like was just like, hold on.
now to Leah's point, um, they almost broke even because they only raked in 76,000.
Mm.
So nobody got paid. They basically did this shit for free.
It was a fun few weeks that they recorded this movie on.
Do y'all have a favorite part in the movie?
No.
My in the beginning when he told the dude flat out, and this is how I feel in real life. When the nigga said he went down, he started to go down his list, and he told him, and he was like, "Bro, I don't know what you're talking about." That nigga stood up and he got that. He said, "Look here, okay." What are we doing, bro? You know
I
that
can
I
help you
know.
experience this pain.
We know the answer already. I'm not I'm not here to play no games. I can hurry up and get you there.
Oh,
That
hilarious.
that was my favorite part because when he stood up with that blade, he was like, you know what? I do remember.
Yeah.
I I, I do remember. I do
Oh.
remember. That's what I like. I like when let's get straight to the point. You are already in trouble. Just tell me the truth.
Yeah. Keep it
Okay.
100.
Keep it 100. The fact that this shit was being written out with his blood, the way the judgment went was cold. It's just
Mm.
that I can't watch that shit. You know what I mean? I can't watch that. But
Ah,
it
Man.
just shows you how sick this shit is that
Hey,
they're typing this nigga blood into the paper.
that
He has to eat it
creative.
and then throw it up for them to eat it, to process it, to get a judgment. That is
oh,
a whole
Oh.
nother
And don't forget about the titties in the beginning either.
firm, okay? Firm, ripe, firm. But the thing that throws you off is that half of their face is missing. You know what I mean?
Hey, it brings you back to you can't get too comfortable. Once again, like I want to look, but
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's something different.
So I would say that's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
which one of your favorite parts of the movie?
The titties.
Okay.
Um,
I thought you had a
nah.
real response. I was like, wait, what?
Man, it was real messed up with putting the dog in the stomach. That was fucked up. That was a good little chuckle when I as soon as I saw the stomach, I like that's the puppy right there.
I take points off for that though.
Really?
How do you feel comfortable taking a dog out of someone's stomach so comfortably? It's okay. It's okay. No, I'm not touching that. And why are you never wearing gloves?
She never wore gloves at this crime
And that's my
scenes.
thing. I thought she was the killer the whole time. I thought she was like one of Hellraiser's minions. I thought she was gonna set him up to do some crazy shit the whole time. That was my
I felt I had those kind of vibes too. I felt that as well.
so when it was like, oh, when he started beating her ass, I was like, oh, it's not her.
Yeah.
This sounds like one of our white people questions on our show. But yeah, once again, I give it an A because I didn't know exactly what to expect. It's better than what I thought it would be initially, so it had me paying a little bit of attention, had me turn away. Um, and I look for what else we got to give. Do the overall ratings. But like who what else is like going against Hellraiser? Like what else can we compare it to? You know, this type of horror,
Saw the
demonic.
Saw series.
Mm,
I would say yes, except for they have the better boogeyman.
Jigsaw or Pinhead?
No, Pinhead.
I'm about to say pins, man. Fuck Jigsaw.
Pinhead is Pinhead to me is ranked like in the top three with me.
And that was like you kept saying that Pinhead looked different. He looked about the same, man. Other than I don't know about the whole that other little thing he kept.
No, it was the eyes. It was the
Oh,
eyes.
the black eyes.
Yeah.
He
Well,
kept
the old school one has the black eyes too. Is that you could tell the facial features was a little different.
got a little Botox.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like because this one he looked more like shoot powder.
Yeah, yeah,
He looked more like powder in this one.
yeah. And but his voice always demands attention.
Yes. His I liked that his character was very similar. Not necessarily as strong as in the first few films, but his his character actually it absolutely carried over. Just the cockiness that he had of just like, man, I'll take you out. I don't care what I have to deal with.
Uh-huh.
Like I like that. That was still there.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. But just the lack of enthusiasm around the room is making me more and more comfortable with where I sit with my C minus.
Yeah, I mean,
So C minus,
there's no
B.
doubt.
Hey,
C
You gave
minus.
it a solid B?
I gave it a B.
Okay.
so that comes with to a B minus.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Well, whoop that is. Like,
Yeah.
well, no, does it come up higher? Let's see. Let's do the math. So A, I give it a 95 plus a B. B is like what a solid like 80.
No, because
No,
B
it's like
minus is 80.
it'll be yeah, that's what I say. So it got like 85.
Yeah.
And C minus is what a
70, 70.
yeah. It's a 83. So 83 we can say, yeah, well,
So
let's
B
give that a
minus,
B.
yeah.
B minus. Yeah,
Okay.
it would be a B minus because you don't round up. We can't round up. But okay. Hellraiser with the B minus. Hellraiser Judgment. The eighth.
Yeah, I feel like later on we're gonna have to watch the original Hellraiser. I feel like is more solid film.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the original one is a more solid film and that would be appreciated more by me. And so as opposed to like the newer one. But
Good
who's
point.
up next? You're up next week?
I'm up next week.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Black Horror Humor. I have been one of your hosts, Leah. Thank you so much to BTG and Mr. D713 for co-hosting with us and letting us review this whole Judgment Day of Hellraiser. I would not necessarily recommend this be your first movie of the Hellraiser series to watch, but if you have the stomach for it, and you will need the strong stomach, put the chili down. Don't pick up your tacos. You got to watch this movie. Don't even drink water. Just watch this movie by yourself. That's all I could say. But that's it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at BHH Podcast and Black Horror Humor on Instagram. And let us know what you think about Hellraiser. Have you kept up with the series? Which part was your favorite? What decade did you like? Because it stretches across 3-4 decades now.
Shit.
80s,
Yeah.
90s,
Yep.
2000s, 2010s. Yeah, 4
Yep.
decades. So
Yep.
let us know what you like. And if there's any other movies that you would like us to watch, let us know in the comments. Have a good one.
And with this particular film, not only keep the lights on, but you gotta actually know your Bible verses too. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, so break that Bible out.
Keep it
Got
going.
it. Got it already out. Already out.
Like I say, let me go ahead and start early with my devotional. All right. Y'all take it easy.
Base.